Now at 6:30 on WKYT this morning, the search is on for a man who police say stabbed two people in a Lexington apartment.
Police are looking for two women who fired shots at a couple during an attempted robbery.
And it is a chilly start to the final Monday of 2014, and it stays that way through the week. I'll have the latest forecast.
Tracking, alerting, protecting. This is WKYT This Morning.
Good morning to you. We hope you had a wonderful Christmas holiday. Start making those resolutions. It's Monday, December 29th. I'm Bill Bryant.
And I'm Rebecca Smith. If you have this whole week off, you are lucky because some of the weather towards the end of the week and the start of the new year will have you wanting to curl up in bed.
Well, that's right. And
yes.
So you can just do that if you have those days off. That's right. Let's check in with meteorologist Jim Caldwell. He's in our First Alert Weather Center. It is going to be a cold week.
It certainly is, and it gets a little more interesting toward the end of the week with a system that has rain or even wintry potential as we look ahead. Right now, though, temperatures are cold. It's 31 degrees right now in Lexington, and you can see all around us, at least in central Kentucky, and points all around us, as I said, are right around the freezing mark. You go down to the south and east, just a touch warmer, but those folks have also been dealing with more showers and even a few flakes of snow trying to fly from time to time. But the chill will remain, and that's going to stay steady through the day for all of us. We'll track that coming up for you in just a few minutes.
And we'll see you in just a few, and here's the latest from WKYT.
Right now, we are tracking a crime alert after two people were stabbed in Lexington.
This morning, police are still searching for the suspect, and WKYT's Hillary Thornton is live now at the scene of the crime with some new details about who police are looking for. Hillary, good morning.
Good morning, Bill and Rebecca. That's right. Police are still looking for that man they say stabbed two people inside an apartment here on Martha Court. Now, Lexington police say they were called to the apartment complex just off Eastland Parkway sometime after 10 on Sunday night. Police say a woman was found with a stab wound inside the apartment, and another man was found in the parking lot also with a stab wound. They both were taken to the hospital. Investigators say it all started when three people were inside the apartment having an argument. They say the suspect then stabbed the other two people before running. Now, police are still looking for that suspect, and they describe him as a white man standing 5'9" with a mustache. He was last seen wearing jeans and a black jacket. Reporting live in Lexington, Hillary Thornton, WKYT.
Hillary, thank you very much. And also new this morning, we're tracking a crime alert after a woman says that she woke up to find an intruder right inside her home. Now, this happened just a little bit ago around 5 o'clock this morning on Mustang Crossing off of East 6th Street. The woman told police that she heard someone moving around and she saw a man running away from her home there with some of her things. Police found most of the stolen items nearby. They have not been able to catch up with the intruder. And a woman is dead after being hit by a car in southern Kentucky. State police say 47-year-old Connie Mead was lying down on Kentucky 7 in Letcher County when she was hit. The driver of the car is not facing any charges. State police say they are not sure why Mead was in the road.
Oh, more than a month after a man was gunned down in Lexington, police have charged a third person with murder. The latest arrest comes after a high-speed chase. WKYT's Mark Barber is live in Lexington with details on who police arrested. Good morning.
Good morning, Rebecca and Bill. Police have arrested 23-year-old Aaron Smith, and he will be arraigned later today on a long list of charges, including murder. Now, we actually interviewed Smith last November after he called 911 when his neighbor was shot. Now Smith and two others, Devin Jones and Terrica Williams, are facing murder charges in connection to the death of Walter Durrell Gray. Investigators say the 31-year-old was shot and killed last month. Police tell us they finally arrested Smith on Saturday. UK police say they spotted him on South Upper Street when he was driving without his headlights on. When officers tried to stop him, they tell us he took off at speeds of up to 70 miles per hour, dodging other vehicles and running through traffic lights. According to an arrest citation, Smith jumped out of the car at Nicholasville Road in Alumni and took off on foot. When he was arrested, officers say they found a loaded handgun on his ankle. Now, police tell us when they searched his car, they also found prescription medication, an open container of liquor, and marijuana. Smith is facing about a dozen charges. In addition to the murder charge, he is also charged with wanton endangerment, DUI, and fleeing or evading police. Again, he will be arraigned on those charges later today. Live in Lexington, Mark Barber, WKYT.
A man who was shot inside his Lexington home is speaking out on the crime. The victim says he was at his home on Roosevelt Drive Saturday night when someone knocked in his door. He says the man demanded money and started shooting. The victim was hit once in the arm before he says he was able to escape. He says the bullet is still in his arm.
Still my arm. They're talking about it. That I need to go get it surgically removed.
How much pain are you in?
I'm about 9.
The victim says he knows where his attacker lives, but he doesn't know who that person is.
A couple trying to buy a cell phone got more than they bargained for. Lexington police say the couple reached out to the seller through social media. They met two women at the Days Motel on Versailles Road, where police say the women fired several shots and tried to rob them. And police tell WKYT that this type of crime is becoming more common.
These types of robberies, unfortunately, happen pretty often. Lots of times it does involve a cell phone or an advertisement to buy a cell phone.
Police say it's best to arrange sales somewhere with surveillance cameras or even at the police station. A golden alert has been issued for a missing man in Laurel County. London police say Kenneth Green called his family Friday from a Speedway gas station to say that he was almost out of gas. The gas station says Green slept in his car that night and left the next morning. Police say Green is bipolar and can become violent. He may be driving a white 1999 Oldsmobile with a Tennessee license plate. Well, more than 24 hours after its disappearance, the mystery behind yet another flight that vanished in Southeast Asia yesterday is starting to unfold.
And it's not looking too good. The head of Indonesia's search and rescue agency says the plane could now be on the seafloor. Mark Albert has the latest.
Australian search planes have spotted objects in the Java Sea where an Air Asia plane disappeared. Investigators do not yet know if it is wreckage from Flight 8501. With help pouring in from other nations, including Singapore, Malaysia, and Australia, Indonesian officials say it's likely the plane is at the bottom of the sea. The flight carrying 162 people, including 17 children, took off for Singapore Sunday morning. Shortly after, one of the pilots asked to change the route because of bad weather. The request was denied due to high traffic. CBS News aviation safety analyst Mark Rosenker says the airplane's data recorders will help reveal what happened next.
We've got life, if you will, in the batteries for the next 30 days, maybe depending upon when these batteries were put into this aircraft, as long as even 90 days.
Indonesia promises a safety review of Air Asia, something the budget airline's CEO, Tony Fernandez, says is a top priority. Relatives still wait for any news, holding on to hope at a crisis center set up at the Indonesian airport where the missing plane took off. Mark Albert for CBS News.
Well, Air Asia's loss comes on top of the still unexplained disappearance of that Malaysian airliner Flight 370 that disappeared in March. A smoke-filled Greek ferry continues to drift in the Adriatic Sea with more than 160 people still on board waiting to be evacuated. Meanwhile, a cargo ship with 49 evacuees has arrived in an Italian port. It's the first big group to reach land. One person has been killed, 2 others were injured during the rescue.
Well, back here in the United States, several people remain hospitalized this morning after a deadly fire at a senior living apartment building in San Antonio, Texas. Firefighters used ladders to rescue dozens of elderly residents from the upper floors of the 11-story building early yesterday. Some are now being housed in a makeshift shelter at a nearby high school. The cause of the fire remains under investigation this morning. In southern Kentucky, a state lawmaker is preparing legislation that could close down a city-owned gas station to the public. State Senator Chris Girdler says Somerset City Hall intruded into the free market by going into the retail gas business. The proposal comes months after the gas station opened. Somerset's mayor, Eddie Girdler, who's a relative, says the proposal is an overreaction. He says feedback from customers has been overwhelmingly positive. So we will see where that goes, trying to make a statewide law on that. All right, the Salvation Army says they are within reach of hitting their fundraising goal.
That's good news for them. The Red Kettle collection period ended last week, but they're still taking online donations. That's through the first of the year. So far, officials say they've collected more than $520,000. It's just shy of their $550,000 goal. They're hoping to make up the difference with online contributions. And there's an extra incentive to give online this week.
you know, the online kettle option is great for people who may want to use their credit card. It's also wonderful because you're doubling your impact when you give online, thanks to this anonymous donor who has agreed to match all contributions up to $100,000.
We have a link to the Salvation Army's website over at WKYT.com.
All right, help them come from behind and get a good reach their goal here at the end of the year. 6:39 right now, and let's check live drive traffic and see how things are moving along on your Monday morning. Here's a look at Nicholasville and Pasadena. Things are starting to pick up out there. A lot of folks getting in there to get it done here in this last week of the old year.
A lot of things maybe to mark off that list, or maybe some resolutions to be formed.
Inventory to be taken. There's all sorts of things to be done here at the end of the year. More news coming up on WKYT on your Monday morning.
On or off the court, it's a healthy rivalry between Lexington and Louisville. Coming up, the story of a police officer who went out of his way on Christmas night to help a family.
And we're tracking a little moisture out there south and east of Lexington, so those chilly showers continue. Even a few flakes of snow are trying to mix in. Just a few, though. I'll have the latest coming up in just a few minutes.